Hello students of class 10 A and B English 3rd. I am going to explain you the poem The Trees. The poem The Trees talks about the trees which are locked inside the greenhouses. So let me first read the poem, then I'll explain it. The poem starts like this. The trees inside are moving out into the forest that was empty all these days, where no birds could sit, no insect hide, no sun bury its feet in shadow. The forest that was empty all these nights will be full of trees by morning. This is the first stanza. And in this stanza, what the poet is trying to tell you, let me explain. The poet says that the trees are moving out of the confines of the houses into the open forest. This is unrealistic as trees are immovable, and hence we realize that the poem has a symbolic meaning. We interpret that the trees referred to are females who have healed themselves and are ready to move out of their homes into the forest to fulfill their primary purpose of filling the world with mankind. Further, she adds that the forest has been empty for the past many days, and so no birds can be seen as they do not have any trees to sit on. Insects can be seen as they do not have any shelter, and sunlight cannot form any shadows. The forest of humanity has remained empty for many days but will soon be full and bright. So this is the first stanza's explanation. Second stanza starts like this. All night the root works to disengage themselves from the cracks in the veranda floor. The leaves strain towards the glass, small twigs stiff with exertion, long cramped boughs shuffling under the roof like newly discharged patients, half dazed moving to the clinic doors. So this stanza explains the poet tries to say that the struggle done by the plants to reach the forest. She says that the roots work for the whole night to separate themselves from the veranda floor. The leaves tried hard to reach the window of glass so that they could go outside. Even the small stems of the trees put much of their effort in order to set themselves free. The big branches were also trying a lot to go out from the roof of the room. We can see that the women are desperate for a change, and their effort is compared to that made by a patient who has been released from the hospital and he tries to move out in a hurry, although he is confused. Maybe because they are half conscious and are under the influence of some medication, they are unsteady but in a hurry to leave the clinic. The third stanza talks about the poet sitting inside the house. Let me read the stanza. I sit inside doors open to the veranda, writing long letters in which I scarcely mention the departure of the forest from the house. The night is fresh, the whole moon shines in a sky still open. The smell of leaves and lichen still reaches like a voice into the rooms. So here the poet says that she is sitting in her veranda. The poet is sitting in her veranda writing long letters. She does not mention about the trees leaving her house in her letters. She says that the night is very clear. She can see the complete moon which is shining. The smell of leaves and lichens is like a voice which is yelling and expressing a desire for freedom from the confines of the house. So the fourth stanza, my head is full of whispers, which tomorrow will be silent. Listen, the glass is breaking, the trees are stumbling forward into the night, winds rush to meet them, the moon is broken like a mirror, its species a flash now in the crown of the tallest oak. So this stanza talks about that the poet's head is full of the slow sounds made by the trees which are desperate to move out. These sounds will not be heard the next day. The poet asks the reader to listen carefully as a change is about to take place. She hears the glass window breaking and the trees tumble out into the night. The wind is blowing outside. It meets the trees to have been broken into pieces as the shadow of the oak tree divides the moon into many fragments. So in the last stanza, the moon is compared to a mirror. Moon is broken like a mirror. So in this poem, what we have learned that the trees are being locked inside, okay, the house or the greenhouses. My question to you is that the trees real place inside the house or outside the house in the forest? So what we are doing, we are cutting the trees tremendously, and because we are cutting the trees tremendously, the forest land have become barren. So no forests are so fertile, or you cannot see any trees in the forest. The forests are completely empty. The word forest doesn't suit them anymore because they are barren lands. And what we are doing, we are making villages and forests into metropolitan cities, and we human beings are creating artificial homes for the trees and plants. Maybe the house is 10 story or 11 story or 12 story tall, and we are creating one floor of trees. But do you think the trees should be there in the top floor of a building? No, it should be in the land, in the ground, right? So what is happening nowadays is that because we are making so many buildings and constructing so many houses, there are no place for trees to stand. So what we are doing, we're creating artificial greenhouses where trees are being stored. But trees are not free inside the greenhouses, because the trees cannot grow to the full length, and they cannot enjoy the fresh air. So we can compare also this to ladies or women who are locked inside their house, who are not allowed to go for school education, who are treated as inferior. So this poem is written by an American poet, and this poem was written then when ladies were not given equal importance. So she not only explained her condition through this poem, she also explained the trees and nature, which is also locked. She have made a comparison between trees and ladies or women. So trees are also locked up. They are not allowed to bloom in the open field. They are not allowed to embrace the beautiful wind or just watch the sky. They are locked inside artificial greenhouses where their heights are kept underneath, where they cannot grow as tall as they want to, where their boughs and the branches are not allowed to grow as the full length they should grow. Similarly, the ladies are also not allowed that time to go out for studies or do the things they want to do, play or study or achieve their success in life. So she wrote, the writer wrote in such a way that she not only explained the plight of the ladies or women, she also explained the plight of the nature. We are creating artificial nature. Why do we need to create artificial nature? Why do we need to build a forest in the 10-story building? Why don't we let forest to be forest? So in this poem we see that the forest inside the house is trying to go out, is trying to free itself. Similarly, the ladies or women are also trying to free themselves from the bondage of patriarchy. I hope that you have understood this poem. So best of luck. Thank you.